There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone. Hello, Jem. Hello, Tolkien. Hello, Yovita. Hello, Sharon. Hello, everybody. So I am Nancy from Nancy Inspired, and I have a gift that I call soul telepathy. I'm able to hear what your soul is trying to tell you for your own evolution, for your own highest and best good. When I do individual readings, I tap in just for you, what your own soul is trying to tell you. But on the collective readings like this, I tap into what is the collective wisdom for the group. What's the most important thing that we need to know this week? I don't do divination. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the future. I can only tell you what's happening for you right now. So the first half of the live, I do collective wisdom. The second half is going to be individual readings. Don't put your name in yet because it'll get lost in the chat. So when I'm ready, put your name in. Today, I'm going to have to watch the time because I do have to leave right at 3 o'clock today. So it'll be an hour and a half. I always go over time. I'm usually closer to 2 hours than an hour and a half. But today I actually have to watch the time. So I will apologize already if I don't get to everybody, but I will try my best. Hello, Johnny. Hello, Ginger. Hello, everyone. All right, so without further ado, what I'm going to do is, and feel free to put comments in the chat and talk to each other. I check the chat periodically to make sure I haven't missed anything. Hello, Aderne. Hello, Jamie. Hello, everyone, my family, my Insight Timer family. All right, speaking of which, I'm just going to ask for permission. Can I, may, and shall I do a collective reading for my Insight Timer friends and family, both those that are here now and those that listen later? That's a clear yes. Is there any reason why I shouldn't at this moment in time? Can already feel it stopping, changing direction. There we go. Then I'm going to ask to clear any negative intention, negative entity, and we're going to ask for cleansing, clearing, and balancing for our hearts, our minds, our bodies, and our spirits on all levels for our highest and best good. I'll invite you to take a deep breath with me and cleanse, clear, and balance our hearts, our minds, our bodies, and our spirits on all levels for our highest and best good. And we're just going to create a circle of protection around my Insight Timer friends and family, both those that are listening here and those that come on later. And all ill intent is unwelcome and may be taken to the feet of God. All right. Next, I'm going to ask for your intuition to be raised to the highest level that it can accommodate with at this moment in time, that you can accommodate with at this moment in time. Allow your souls to speak freely and clearly for everyone's highest and best good. All right. I've decided to add just a little extra, protection thing. After a few weeks ago, we had just a little, what I'm going to call a psychic attack, a little thing. And so now I just want to add an added element of protection so that all ill intent is unwelcome and removed. I have a protection or a ward like that on my house so that people that aren't welcome, aren't in alignment, are not welcome. And I sometimes think, there's certain people that come and then they sort of quickly leave, and I think that's my house. And you're not part of this alignment. Awesome. Hello, Jamie. Hello, Chris. And hello, Kate. So nice to see you all. All right. Well, let's get started. So I'm going to just tap into our first bit of messaging this week. Sacral chakra. I knew it was going to be there. I'll explain why in a little bit. Sacral chakra. All right. Okay. This makes sense because this is exactly what happened to me this week, and I knew it was going to come up today. I'm like, is this going to come up in the live today? Of course it is. So as we go through life, as we have experiences, as we're connecting with people, as we're busy doing stuff, as we're fulfilling different roles, we have different jobs to do. We have, life is busy, right? And as we have all these interactions, it's really easy for us to sort of lose sight of pieces of ourselves. So, hearing to tell you a story. So just this week, I went for some body work. I hurt my back. I was doing a drama production with some students at school, and I was lifting things and moving things, and it kind of tweaked my back a little, which was a gift. That was a divine gift. And then all of a sudden, things just kind of aligned that one day on Saturday, on yesterday, that Aurora, my granddaughter, was invited to a birthday party at the neighbors, and so I had a little bit of time. I put it out there to the universe. Does any of my friends that are massage therapists have a time for me to come around this time? And one of them messaged and said, I actually do. I have a cancellation, sure. So I managed to get in, just tick, 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 everything happened. Well, this particular massage therapist is very, very intuitive, and I've worked with her before. And so I told her, if my body gives you any messages, I'm open to receiving them, and let me know what they are. And long story short, I don't need to get into all the details, but I have actively shut down a big part of myself, a big part of sort of who I am. I've shut down with being busy, and also as a protective mechanism. As a protective mechanism to protect my heart, to protect my emotions, protect myself, I've shut down some really key parts of me. And now it's time to reclaim those parts. And so that's what I'm hearing as messaging. If you are feeling imbalanced, you are feeling like you are not whole, that there is something missing for you, ask yourself, what have I given away and why? Because our systems, I'm hearing, our systems are designed to protect ourselves. But we have two systems, is what I'm hearing. One system is protecting our skin suit layer. So this is the layer that is having this lifetime experiences, these connections, these relationships, these, ups and downs of the roller coaster of life. And then there's other layers, but for all intents and purposes right now, I'm hearing we're just talking about the two. Then there's a soul level layer. That soul level layer is seeking integration, seeking connection, seeking wholeness, seeking elevation, seeking elevated consciousness. That layer lets the skin suit layer, the surface layer, hey, there's something wrong. Well, our brains can't always connect to the messaging, and so it shows up as feeling imbalanced, feeling extra tired, feeling maybe a little bit depressed, feeling, all the lower vibrational energies. So when you're feeling those things, ask yourself, what have I disconnected from? What have I removed from my life that I need to bring back? What is imbalance, right? So what I'm seeing right now is like a wheel, right? And for a wheel, in order to be able to like run smoothly, has to be a circle. Well, if we are not fully connected to all parts of that wheel, mind, body, spirit, our masculine, our feminine, our divine connection, collective wisdom, collective consciousness, being a part of the web of life, that makes our wheel kind of go wonky, and then we're like ka-tunk, ka-tunk, ka-tunk. And if you think about efficiency, right? If you have a wheel that's perfectly round and in alignment, it's going to zoom through life. Just zzz, everything's smooth. Whereas if it feels a little bit like we're going ka-tunk, 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 and feeling tired because we're working extra hard, ask yourself, what is not in alignment? What have I given away? What have I let go of in order to protect myself? The skin suit layer, what have I let go of? And how do I reintegrate it in a healthy way? Because sometimes there is reasons why we do that in order to protect ourselves. That there are genuine things happening that if we behave in a certain way, it's a form of protection, especially for children. And then it becomes ingrained patterns of being. However, if you are feeling that imbalance, which I was, and if you aren't feeling the imbalance, your body will let you know, which was my back pain. It's like, oh, I'm out of alignment, and here I go. So pay attention to those feelings of being imbalanced, those feelings of things just not running smoothly, and ask yourself, what part of myself is out of alignment? What part of myself have I just missed or let go of for a multitude of reasons? And how do I bring that back? I knew that that would come up this week. It was quite a cathartic experience for me. Tolkien, how can we fix it? I'm going to ask, how do we fix it? First thing I heard was listen. So let's dive into that. What does that mean, listen? Okay. So in relation to mine, what I'm hearing is, first of all, I noticed I was out of alignment. I was feeling sad. I was feeling a little bit lonely. I was feeling a little bit resentful, a little bit let down, some of those lower vibrational energies. And I mean, we all feel those from time to time. But what I'm hearing is when you start to stay there. So we feel it, we come back out, we feel it, we come back out. But if you start to stay in those lower vibrational energies, that's the sign. That's the first point of listening. So all of this is about listening. So you start to recognize, okay, there's something not quite right. I'm not in alignment. Those lower vibrational energies are staying longer, lasting longer. The next bit of listening is I asked for communication. I said, and I actually did ask. I wasn't consciously aware I was asking until the words were coming out of my mouth. As I said, if my body has any messages for you, let me know. I asked to engage in that reciprocal conversation. So what I'm hearing is that free will is essential. Free will is essential. Our guides, divine consciousness, collective wisdom, source, allow us to navigate life as we want to navigate it. But the moment we ask for help, help is available. So by initiating conversation, just like with another person, if you say, hey, how are you? And they answer you, you're now initiating conversation. So first listen for what's out of alignment for yourself. Listen for the fact that there is something out of alignment, even if you don't know what it is. And then ask for that conversation, ask for that guidance, ask for that mentorship, ask for that wisdom and information. Then this is the next part. This is what I'm hearing, is then you have to listen, because that information comes in all kinds of ways. So for me, it was during some body work, a massage, that she heard it, maybe it's coming onto a live like this today. Maybe it's a song that comes on the radio that's exactly about what you're thinking about. Often it's an alert to pain. So I know I've talked about this before because this message has come up lots of times, but in terms of listening, things that cause us pain, things that cause us like jealousy or feelings of inadequacy, feelings of comparison and whatnot, those are things that are pain in our heart or in our sense of being. And similar to like if we hurt our knee or our foot, if our knee or our foot was hurting, we would take a look at it. We would look, is there bruising? Is there swelling? Is there something wrong? Do I need to wrap it up? Do I need to elevate? Do I need to ice? Do I need medication? Do I need to go to the hospital? Depending on the level of the pain. When it's a physical pain, we tend to take note and listen and do something about it because our bodies aren't letting us not. But when it's an emotional pain, we often just kind of brush it off. Be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Nothing I can do about that, whatever. Or we start to live in that pain. So I'm hearing listen to those signals, right? If things are kind of affecting us, making us feel jealous, inadequate, resentful, all of those feelings, that's communication. I'm also hearing the next level of listening. So there's lots of layers. If you say that you want communication, you're going to get communication. Ideally, we start listening at the base level of communication. If we don't listen on that level, that's when things start to show up, like my back pain, so that I would be inclined to receive some body wisdom, right? I wouldn't have done that had my back not been hurting. I don't have a lot of time these days. I probably wouldn't have made that time for myself. but I listened, well, I didn't listen, and then I got the little bit of back pain saying, oh, you need to take care of yourself. So we need to listen, and then we'll be given the guidance. You'll be given the guidance, and it's about listening. And we have lots and lots of tools, but what I'm hearing to tell you is that the information is there when you want it. You just have to ask for it. And I know that sounds super simple, and there's parts of me sometimes that feel really frustrated with that. Like I hear it and I can feel it and I know it's the truth. But there's a part of me, the Nancy skin suit, that's like, how many times have I asked for wisdom on this and I don't get it? What I just heard is what I always hear is, you are getting the wisdom, you just don't like the answers you're getting. You just don't like the answers. You don't like what you have to do now with those answers. So you keep looking for new answers. At least that's what's happening for me. So yes, I get frustrated. Like, make it clear. I need a flashing neon sign. And, if I'm really honest, I do get signs all the time. I just choose not to listen to them sometimes because of what it means, So Tolkien, hopefully that helps answer your question in terms of how can we fix it. But, long story short, what I heard is listen. We need to learn to listen. First, we have to ask, engage in that conversation with our higher self, our divine being, and our higher self, that divine consciousness. Engage in that conversation, ask for the wisdom, and then listen for how that wisdom comes. I'm also tell you a story. When I first started working with my gift, when I was given my gift, I had to learn how to kind of weed out information, translate, like that kind of thing, because it comes in as light, and then I feel it. I don't know how to explain it. Feel it, or I hear words, or I see images, and that kind of thing. And just before that, just before I received my gift, I was working with a mentor, and she told me that learning to talk to your guides, learning to talk to your higher self, learning to talk to that divine consciousness, that divine wisdom, and the blissful forces that are guiding you, is like learning a new language. You have to learn how they communicate with you, hearing to tell you a story. So yesterday, when I was getting this body work, the woman that was doing it was telling me a story of some of her relationship journey. And she said that her mom helped her. Well, her mom had passed away a while ago, but her mom communicates with her via ladybugs. She sees ladybugs, and she said she had a number of profound moments seeing ladybugs as she was asking various questions. So you need to ask, and then you need to learn how to communicate with your guides. And you can ask for a symbol. I'm going to say that ladybugs are my symbol, and or whatever. And sometimes your guides might give you something different, but you can ask. That's what I'm hearing. To be honest, I haven't done that. I haven't actually tried that, but that's what I'm hearing right now, is that you can actually ask for the method to be communicated, the method that you wish to be communicated with. So for me, I guess if I put that into context, I've asked for other people to receive messages from me, people that are intuitive. And there are a number of people in my circle that will sometimes reach out and say, I heard this for you. And it's usually very relevant and poignant and exactly what I need. So I've asked for my messaging to come through others that are sensitive, that are intuitive. So you need to communicate, how are your messages going to come through? How do you want your messages to come through? And then we need to listen. Listen, listen, listen. Nicola, hi Nancy, can I have some challenging this last time missed out? Okay. Channeling, I think you mean. Nicola, I'm going to put, in a little bit, I will ask for people to put their names in. Put your name in then, and then I can add you, okay? Because it'll get lost in the chat if I do it now. Alicia, you just made me cry, Nancy. Beautiful message. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm not glad that you're crying, but I'm glad that you are hearing messaging in that. I really believe in divine timing and divine messaging, and I believe that's the work I've been given. So anyone that shows up today and listens right now, the messaging that I'm saying is for you, right? It's the messaging that you've been called to hear. I've been called to hear, right? So yeah, it's something important and something I'm working on now. All right, next bit of messaging. First, I'm going to take a sip of tea. We got mango tea today. you.Vita says, for me, a blue butterfly is a sign from, is a sign from my guides. So I see them when I'm in alignment. Sometimes it is on someone's scarf, t-shirt, earrings, or a real butterfly. That's what she was saying about ladybugs. Is that ladybugs is her mom communicating. And at one point she said that she was actually in a store and feeling like having a bit of an anxiety about this date she was going on. They're actually now getting married. This is like 2 years later. But she was like, her flight or fight was in full mode, and she was like, Mom, I need some guidance. And she went into a store and happened to be, I don't know where she was, but there was a card, like a birthday card or some kind of card in the wrong spot. So it was where she was. I don't know where she was, but it wasn't in the card section. But that card had a ladybug on it, and that's made her go, you know what? I need to give this a try. Tolkien says, yesterday I was talking aloud and asked my spirit team to help me get out from the heartbreak and low state I've been in. And then I saw a hummingbird and thought maybe it was a sign. It was a sign, 100%. I just got shivers. And I'm here to tell you, Tolkien, that was a sign. And also the fact that you decided to join this live today in order to hear this messaging. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. Yep, that's like definitely the energy of that. That was all in alignment. That was your sign. And then also the fact that you're here listening to this messaging, telling you that this is a sign. It's time for you to take a look. What have you given away? What have you, for your own protective instincts, what have you given away? Oh gosh, I'm hearing that I'm supposed to share the actual message, the whole thing. Okay. I feel a little vulnerable sharing, but I'm going to, because I'm hearing that it's important. So for whatever reason, it's important for everybody. So I've had some heartbreak in my life. I've had people that did not show up the way I had hoped, and I put a lot of time, effort, and energy into relationships that just were not good for me. Were not healthy for me. And I realize that I have really removed myself from my femininity, from my feeling beautiful, because I am not open to relationship at this moment. And in my psyche, I had equated feeling beautiful with external validation. And so I had removed that part of myself. So it's now about reclaiming that feminine side of myself for myself without that external validation. So it's about owning those pieces of yourself that make you whole and make you into that whole divine being, that god or goddess that you are, and allowing you to exist fully in that unified integration are the words that I'm hearing. And it allows me to move forward in whatever direction, in whatever way, in whatever pattern, in whatever relationship we want to be in. And the relationships are with ourselves first and foremost. So that's what I'm hearing to tell you. So yes. Okay. And I'm just reading. It says, just resonates. When my brother passed away, I'd find a feather every day for a month. There you go. And I bet, Alicia, that you still find feathers occasionally. And, okay, so I'm hearing to tell you, this is actually the next bit of messaging. When we're talking about people that passed on. As well as our guides. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so this is what I'm hearing, is that we think of people as a singular entity. So here I am, Nancy, as a singular entity. Most of the time, I'm existing as this singular entity. However, we're not. And that's the messaging that I'm hearing, is that we have so many layers to our connection and our energetic field and the etheric matter of divine source, is the wording I'm hearing. The etheric matter of divine source. And so sometimes we think that when someone's passed, all of their essence, everything that makes them them, has moved to another place. Well, what I'm hearing is that it's more like light, like air. You can't trap light and say this is light, and light is wherever it has room to go. And then it blends into other forms of light. And so when someone passes, when someone goes on, they are released from this human form and not re-immersed, because they already are. Even in this human form, we are connected to that divine light. We are connected to that etheric realm of energy. And so we are connected here, we are connected there, we are connected at all times, everywhere. When we lose our body, this is what I'm hearing, when we lose our physical body, it is just one part of the, I'm looking for the right word, I can feel it, trappings, maybe one part of the, I'm not hearing the word, I can feel it, like one part of the, it's like a encasement, like one part of the casing, the crust, the casing. I can't quite feel the word, but it's like a casing, like a shell, There you go, like a shell, that holds a part of this in place in this time and space, so it can act out whatever it needs to act out for ourselves, for the people, for our own soul's evolution. We need to have experiences, and those experiences require a casing, a shell. When we are released from that casing or that shell, we are no longer in that particular shell. We may actually have other shells in other places that are still connected to us, is what I'm hearing. I know it's getting a little trippy, but we may have more than one shell going on at the same time. But when a shell is released, that a piece of that being, a piece of that soul, of that entity, of that energy can be here, can be there, can be here, can be there, can be anywhere at the same time. I know I struggle with that. When I started talking to, I started getting messaging for myself, and then I asked at one point, because I always sign my journal with an N for Nancy, and then I asked, like when I was kind of channeling messaging, I wanted another way to sign it, so I knew it was a channeled message, and I heard the word Yareal, Yareal, so I'd sign it with a Y. And then I went to like a sound bath, and the woman had an accent, and she was calling in angelic protection. And I've never really resonated with angels, simply because exactly this. I didn't understand the concept of how can angels and guides be available to me when I need it, and available to everybody else when they need it, all at the same time. And I just couldn't quite get my head around that. And this woman, anyway, said Archangel Uriel, but the way she said it was Yariel. And all of a sudden I was like, what? Like, is that who I've been channeling for myself? And then I tried to do some looking up on Archangel Uriel, and it's about, intuition and wisdom and that kind of thing. And I was like, okay, I mean, somebody else might know more about Archangel Uriel that you can add in. But the point is that just like light, because I asked Yariel, how can you talk to me and channel for me when, if you're Archangel Uriel, you're being called upon by many. And the answer was like, it's like air. If you choose to breathe the air, you can breathe the air. It's available to you as long as you're not underwater or somewhere where it can't penetrate. If you choose to breathe the air is available. If you choose to connect to a soul level being, it's there, it's available to you. If you choose to connect to your higher self, it's there, it's available to you. If you choose to connect to your own inner wisdom, it's there, it's available to you. It's all in energy. And so you need to just release the shell, release the trapping, and think of everything as energy. And so back to the feather, yes, the feather absolutely could be your brother, sister, mother, whoever, right? One time, my foster daughter asked me if I could do a reading and tap into her brother who had passed. Now, I'm not a medium. I think I have some innate ability that I could be a medium, but it's not something I welcome at this time. In fact, how I started even practicing and understanding my gift was because I accidentally did some medium work, and it scared me to be an accidental medium. So I've kind of shut that side out. However, for my foster daughter, I tried to connect to her brother to see, if I felt anything. And I did. But most of what I felt was this playful energy of like, I'm good. Like, I'm here with you, but I'm also journeying and exploring and having fun, kind of thing. So you can have that duality. It's not just one thing. So why is that important? What I'm hearing is because it's like magic, right? We sometimes discount or discredit things because we can't make sense of them. How can my brother be here leaving a feather for me and also be in the afterlife or possibly in a new life form or in heaven or wherever, right? How can that be in the same breath? And so then it becomes discounted. What I'm hearing is that it's so much bigger than that energy and our being and our sense of wonderment is bigger than that. And to try to, stretch our minds into understanding that, yeah, we can even be in different places at the same time. Maybe not in our physical shell, in this physical shell, but everybody can relate to thinking about someone and then they call you, right? Because on some level you connected with them. I know lots of people, I used to do it, not so much anymore, dream traveling, where you can say, I saw this and whatnot, and then you find out, oh, that's really what it looked like, right? So we do have way more ability. We just have to remember, believe, and understand that we do. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm seeing lots of hellos. Oh, Evie, thank you. She's been here since the start. It's amazing. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Tolkien, you're so welcome. Sharon says this so resonates, Nancy. Cindy says this resonates. Wonderful. It's resonating for me too. So I'm on this journey with you. And we've got some hellos. Hello, Carolina. Hello, Ella. Alicia says it's like the caterpillar being born into a beautiful butterfly. The butterfly consciousness is always present. Absolutely. Hi, everyone from Angela. Hello, Cecilia. Hello, Jamie. And hello, Deborah. Awesome. All right, let me tap into the next bit of messaging here for us. A little bit of water. Okay, this is one of my favorite stories. And I just got told to remind ourselves. Okay, so continuing on to the last bit of messaging in terms of we're sometimes caught up in our shell trapping, right? Our shell trapping says we're here in this space, in this time, for this many years, in these relationships, doing these things, and this is our existence, our being. And we believe this and do this and behave in certain ways because that is how it's always been done, right? That's how we've we've grown up. That's how others around us do it. That's how our society does it. So we assume that that's how it's supposed to be done. So one of my very favorite stories is a story of some people who, some monks, right, who were meditating. And as they were meditating, there was a cat that would come and, sit on them and meow. I can totally relate to that. The moment I'm meditating, all 3 of my cats want to be on or near me. So they're, these cats were annoying the practitioners that were meditating. And so they tie up the cat and just like tie it to the tree, and then they would proceed to sit so that the cat couldn't come and bother them while they were meditating. Well, it became like every day they would tie up the cat, then they would meditate. Tie up the cat, then they would meditate. Years and years and years went by, and, eventually that cat passed away, and they tied another cat to the tree and meditated. And it became, rather than being about that particular cat, and the reason that they were tying it up was because it was bothering them meditating, it turned into almost like a ritual of, we can't meditate unless we tie up this cat, which isn't the case. So sometimes what we have learned, what we've been conditioned by, what we've experienced, what has been taught all the way along, this separateness from divine source, this separateness from each other, this separateness from our higher selves, from our guides, the separateness from being able to hear things, the fact that for years I had to hide that I heard messages from people, because I did have experiences as a young girl that people thought I was weird, that I was stalking them. How do you know that about me? All that kind of stuff. And, I had to hide that, as opposed to saying, no, this is real. And this is a gift I have, right? We've been conditioned that anything that doesn't fit within the norm of what's expected, this narrow view of norm of what's expected, is somehow wrong or not real or untrue, right? What I'm hearing is just like the yogis that, tied up the cat, they lost sight of the reasons for things, right? And so it's important to recognize that not everything we've been taught and conditioned is exactly what makes the most sense when you break it down. So allow yourself to be open to the possibilities of the magic that's within you, that every single person here, there's 68 people here right now, we all have abilities. We all have divine connection. We are all intricately connected right now in this moment. We are in a bubble in space and time of energy as we are, interacting with each other in this bubble, hearing this bit of messaging. And it goes far beyond what we comprehend in the day-to-day societal outlook of things. So recognize the magic and the beauty of the mystery of the gifts we've been given. We all have these gifts. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing right now, is that everybody, every single human being on the planet has gifts of an esoteric nature. It's about learning what they are, understanding what they are, and understanding how to use them. And what I'm hearing is all you have to do, simple, is base your understanding from love, from that place of love and genuinely wanting to make the world a better place, elevate vibration, and the information will come to you. And the more that you're rooted and based in love, the more your gifts will be open to you. Yes, Jamie, I'm ready for healers to be able to be open, seen, and respected too. 100%. It's more and more. I've been able to be more honest about what I do, and I don't get quite as weird as looks as I used to. Nicola, if you were missed last time. Yes. Okay, when I'm done with the collective readings, I will ask for individual names, and then we'll And yes, if I missed you last week, I will put you to the top of the list. All right, let me just see if there's any other bit of messaging. Not so much messaging, but I got just hit with this really beautiful sense of gratitude. It was a sense of gratitude, that divine, I'm channeling you mixed with some divine intervention. And what I heard just now was gratitude, was thanking you for showing up. Thanking you for showing up on Insight Timer, a meditation app genuinely designed to try and help people better themselves. Thank you for showing up and trying to better yourself, trying to connect and trying to open that channel of communication to divine being. What I'm hearing to say is that it doesn't go unnoticed, and the more people that even set the intention of I want to connect, I want to be connected to that divine source energy, even the intention automatically elevates human consciousness. So I'm hearing a strong message of gratitude for everyone that is showing up here today and every day. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Here we are. Let's go to putting your names in. So Nicola, Cecilia. Ooh, went so fast. Hold on. Nicola, Cecilia, Cindy. Oh, I have to stop the